our guest, Michael Cherry, and co-host. Welcome back, Coach Byron. Okay, good. We got the intro. Now we could get all the good banter that we was having before the call. Um, welcome. So, first couple things about our guest, Michael Cherry here. He's a part of what I consider to be the younger generation of the track folks. He's still in the game right now, 25 years old. So he's still trying to, get his Olympic gold medal or whatnot. But he already has some cool things on his resume that we're going to talk about real quick. So from Virginia, and you were, you had a high school national record in the 300. Oh man, yeah, that's pretty tough. Okay, and you went to LSU. And something cool that I actually looked up about you, you have more than 300 pair of sneakers, and I see that in the background. 300 pair of sneakers.
A lot of sneakers.
300? That's a lot. And something really cool is that you were on the mixed relay at the World Championship, and you won that gold medal, and you're part of that record-breaking team. You have a world record.
It's like a fake world record.
no, hold on. It's a world record.
It's a soft one, but it is a world record.
I was on
I don't
the gold medal 4x4 too.
I don't know any world record. You're the only world record holder that I know. I'm sorry. I got excited about it. Soft world record and fake world. I don't know what you guys are talking about. All of that stuff. But no, Coach Byron, and you've known Michael here for a long time. You guys worked together in high school. So I love to hear, a little bit about that, how you guys got started, what got you started in track and field and whatnot. So let me stop talking. I want to hear you talk and tell us your story. So Michael, how did it get started? Why track and field?
I mean, it was between track and field and football. I started running track pretty much after football. And then I probably took it seriously maybe around, I want to say like my junior or sophomore year when I met JB. Once I met him, we connected. I didn't really agree with him at first. I thought this stuff was kind of BS. Took a summer with me to take some L's. Took some L's that summer. Came back. I actually met with LaShawn Merritt. So I met LaShawn Merritt. He told me JB was pretty legit. I came back to him, hit him up, told him I wanted to work with him again. And then we started over. And from there, the rest is history. It was pretty much good for me. So junior year on, it was better. But I probably started running track maybe like freshman year, sophomore year.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Coach Byron, aka JB, was a high school national coach of the year. So why was this stuff BS? Why do you think this stuff was BS?
Man, look, JB was giving me like these little plans. I came from like Austin Smith. We don't really got too much track stuff. So my coach is going to go out there and run. He tried to give me like little plans, telling me to get out hard. I tried to get out hard. I think it was at Junior Olympics. We was at New Orleans.
We was in New Orleans.
So I think I was second in the country that year too. I was second in the country in intermediate. So I was feeling myself, all cocky. Came out there, ran in the prelims. I got out too hard. I died on the straightaway, ran a hard straightaway. Probably got like third or second in my section. And then wound up not making the final. Didn't make the final. Went back to the bleachers sick. I'm mad as hell, not talking to JB. Like, we almost fought when we came back on the bus. So me and JB load the bus up. When we get on the bus, all of us sitting in the back. He telling everybody to get off. At this point, I don't even want to get off. I'm still looking at him like, nah, I'm not about to get off at all. Like, you need to get off the bus. So JB come back there, we basically like squash it. He started talking to me. We get over it. Then I just go into the room. That's it, man. That's pretty much it, though.
Okay.
That's the PG version of the
Yeah.
Now we're on YouTube and
we definitely
iTunes.
We definitely keeping it PG, but I will say that was one of those situations. It was early in my coaching career, and Cherry and I are not that different in age. So
at the time, I didn't know either. I thought he was like an old dude. I thought he had to be like.
Actually, I know how this goes down because I started coaching high school the same time as you, JB, and you always had like an 18-year-old who stepped to you. And you're like, hold on, man, I'm not a teacher.
I think I might have been like 15, 16, maybe like 15.
He's like 16.
And he thought mistakenly you were a teacher.
Man, I don't know what he thought, but he started shaking his foot, like when somebody starts shaking their foot, cracking his knuckles. I was like, all right, now we gonna see how this happens because I'm not a teacher, bro. I'm not a teacher.
Yeah.
But from that, man, that I think that summer, the challenges that we went through that summer spawned everything that this young man did. Like you said, 300-meter national record holder. think maybe 4-time national champion when he came out of high school that year, his senior year. Highly touted, the highest recruit in the 400 meter dash. So all of those things, I think, were part of the, that was part of the process and part of the task. At the time, he couldn't see it, and I'm gonna be real, I didn't see it either.
Yeah, he never told me that though. At the time, I feel like my PB probably was like 48 seconds. I probably ran 48 seconds, maybe 22 with some change.
Oh, so you were 48? I never even heard of that, Cherry.
Yeah, I was like 48.7, 48.8. This is on a good day. No. But listen,
48.
This is my PB on a good day. I ran 48 with my Smith coach. So I ran 48 with my Smith coach. But like during the school year, I was running like 48 seconds, maybe like 35 in the 300, 105, 106 maybe. But my school was like a football school, so we played a lot of football, and we really didn't care about track. I went to the meets with like full clothes on, eating
and that
the fried fish baskets from Boo Williams with the fries and stuff like that. So I wasn't taking nothing like too much seriously at the time before I met.
And that's what I want to ask you about that too before you go past that, because that's something that we talked about with LaShawn, and I know you know LaShawn as well, and he's an OG and he's Virginia as well, so same area, and coming up in Portsmouth, track wasn't a thing, so it wasn't like people joined the track team thinking, man, I can make it. And LaShawn kind of made it a thing, in his area. So, in your area, you said that track at your school wasn't really a big deal. So how was that like, that whole dynamic? What made you continue to pursue track? And did you see, or JB, did you see like a path for him to be able to, gain some opportunities from track, especially at the time he's saying he was running 48s, which, for those who don't know, that's not bad. I was like a 48 runner, and I wasn't a national champion.
Yeah, like 10th grade. So to put it in perspective, and I want Cherry to answer, but Cherry was like 48 high PR. He was averaging like 49 mid, 49 low. But this is through his 10th grade year.
Oh, so that's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, he was actually still on track, man, to do some really good things. And then I think I'm gonna let him talk to you about what was his mindset in that transition from taking it seriously to dropping them times that he ended up dropping in high school.
Yeah, to that point, I mean, I ran 48 seconds. When I was in high school, I really didn't think too much about track. I didn't care. I said I was gonna take a break from football. I remember talking to JB. JB told me he was gonna get me better the next season. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a season off from football. I always blame him. I should be in the NFL right now, But he turned my path a different way. So I told him I was gonna take a year off of football, see what I can do in track. I basically just locked in with JB, started going a little harder. But what made me actually just go straight to track is I seen LaShawn Mayer. LaShawn Mayer is like the only track athlete from the area that I could actually see. He was coming by like our practice. I think he had like a Maybach at the time. I'm like, damn, he must be really getting money. Hey, I don't know no NFL dudes from my school like that I can actually visually see. So that was the visual person I could actually see and lock in and say, okay, look, I want to be like him. At the time, I never even seen a track.
Wait, hold on. Don't go past that because you talk fast. So I want to. Yeah. That's a good point. I like that. Wait a second. So LaShawn came by your school, your practice.
No, we've seen him at practice. I think we was at Mount Trashmore.
Okay, and you said you saw what he was driving?
Yeah, like a Maybach or like a Mercedes.
And so, because you saw him being successful and being a little flashy, that motivated you to be like, man, I could do that in the conversation. This is how it works with people. Yeah, folks. This is life.
And I knew my mom wasn't going to be able to pay for school for me, so I had to find something quick to get better at and advance myself. So I thought maybe track seemed like a good way to do it if I really lock in and focus in on it. I see a lot of people playing football, but a lot of people really wasn't like making it to college or going to big schools. They was going like a lot of lower level schools. I feel like if I could just run track and get better, then I could do that from that way.
See, people don't understand that though, that you're looking at this, like this can get me to a better destination, like this sport, this is really, track and field is really a vehicle of opportunity for a lot of folks who are growing up in certain areas, and that's why, Coach Byron and I, on the level that we're coaching, a lot of people are, I guess you're seeing a lot of track programs die or get cut. And it's like, do you really understand how track and field is changing people's lives out here? Because if you never saw Sean, who knows what you would have looked at to be like, oh man, I want to do that. Or I want to,
Yeah, he was like the example though. Like, I feel like it really wasn't like no one else that I could really look to see. Like, I mean, me and Coach B kind of made me like a student to the sport, so I could look it up and see actually what LaShawn was doing, and then I could put like times to names and see different stuff like that. But I had actually so before actually taking Coach B seriously, I had won like a trivia game on Twitter to go to a football game with LaShawn. So I did like a little stuff when I was at work. I'm at Finish Line at the time, so I'm still playing football. So it's during football season. I text I think the ODU page back, answer a couple of trivia questions about him. I get him right. He gives me 2 tickets to an ODU game. When I met him, he's walking with me, giving me like the little, like the stuff they always tell kids, like, one day you could be like me type of stuff. At the time, he probably like, just saying whatever to me. I probably was like 49 seconds at the time. I don't think I ran 48. I think I was still 49 seconds. He telling me like, look, you can be better and all this and all this. So I bought me and one of my other friends. And then after that conversation with him, it wasn't like too much. He just gave me like a general conversation, but I was inspired. So I was like, you know what? I feel like I could be like him, maybe not be on the same level, but at least be like, somewhere close to him at the time. Because I was only 49 seconds. He's a 43 runner. And then fast forward later, I'm like in the same meets as him, in the same places on the same team. So it's crazy like seeing him now. So, yeah, but definitely him and JB is like the most impactful people, definitely when it comes to like making me run track. And I say like my best friend Ringo too, like having him too, because everybody I hung with was kind of like not track dudes, like non-track dudes, everybody from the hood, like nobody. I never really cared about, running track. Nobody in my family runs track. Like it's never like my mom never seen a track meet before me. Like she never been to one. Any of my cousins, all that stuff, nobody really done none of that stuff. They always playing football and basketball. So seeing them and showing me an example of what track can look like, and seeing my first track meet, I think my first track meet visually watching had to be live was a World Championships 2013. So before that, I never even seen a track meet like actual on TV. I might have watched NCAAs or something like that, or watching like a little AAU meet, but I never actually seen and knew that you can run professional track and do stuff like that. Like I heard of Usain Bolt, but I didn't know like what he did or any of that stuff. Like he was in our yearbook and stuff like that, but it wasn't really no example. So having LaShawn and just seeing him actually helped me out a lot.
Wow. Now that's pretty cool that he had he played a big part, a big role in you being where you are now. And it's pretty cool that you get to line up and compete against him. Yeah.
Wow, for sure. What do you think? So when you talk about the inspiration from, right, whether it be the high school coaches, whether it be LaShawn at that point in time, moving forward, what is it that continues you though, right? Like what are the things that make you continue to strive to hit these times, to make these teams, to right? Because now you're at a point where, like Coach Durant said, man, like Adrian said, you still in that younger generation, right? But you are known. Like people know who Michael Cherry is, right? So you had the inspiration of getting to college, right? Then you had the inspiration of turning this into a lifestyle. So what sustains it though? What keeps you going every day right now?
I mean, now I feel like it's just like my family and friends. So like you guys, like just knowing that you here and trying to support me and knowing like my mom's watching or you watching or any of my coaches is watching at any point in my life. I don't want to really let y'all down. And for myself, it's just like, just attaining those goals. And one thing about me, I never wanted to be forgotten. Like I felt like once I did get to that level, I always wanted to stay up there and make sure I stayed in that light. So, it's always bad times when people run fast and then they disappear, or they have like a couple years when they're not there and everybody talks so bad about them. I never want to be that person that just ran fast at one point in their life and disappeared and nobody's worried about him now. And everybody's saying what happened to him. So just the motivation of just staying afloat and showing that I can compete on all levels, like not just high school, not just college, but as a professional high schooler. Like I know some people got the stories like they was bad in high school, they was bad in college. Like I never was like, nah, I don't want that. Like I had a good high school, good college, and I want a good professional career too. So when people remember me, I just wanted to remember that I was good on all levels and not just one level, like a high school phenom or a good college runner. I want them to say totally my career was like complete. So that's my motivation.
All right.
That sounds like you want to leave a legacy.
44.66, right? 20.7. My boy finally broke 21 recently. Like my man was running 21. Only person I know who can run 44 mid. In 21, couldn't break 21.
I wasn't running that many though. You got to think I didn't run that many. Like we ran. When I got to college, my coaches stopped letting me run the 200. I became a 400 specialist. It was none of that.
A homie had a 44.8 PR with a 21.5 on the books. So this is a question that I know you and I have gone back and forth about, and I think it's the time to bring it up. How many international medals do you have? Because I think
I mean, internationals.
It's slept on, man. I think you have a lot of medals that people don't even.
Well, we counting world. So I got world indoor silver 400. World.
Hold on. Slow it down. Let me hear it. List it out, man. This your time to tell everyone. Don't be shy. I want to hear about the hardware.
All right, so I got world indoor silver 400, world indoor silver 4x4, world silver outdoor 2017 4x4, world gold Doha 4x4 2019, world gold and world record world relays Doha, and I think that's pretty much it. 5 of them.
You got a little resume there. Being 25, I think you kind of downplay it. You know, those silvers. If you have a silver medal at a world championship, at that moment, you're the second best in the world. You're like, I got the silver in this one meet, the world championship, and it's a fake world record. Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Hey, I bet you cashed that world record check though. You talking?
I know, man.
They started calling me Relay Poppy.
Relay Poppy.
Relay Poppy, dog.
My man Cherry, the only one who won't make the open 400 team and be on the. He only had to run the relay prelim. They just advanced my boy.
Hey,
he'll finish fifth at USA.
I paid my dues.
All of his success here.
I paid my dues. Listen.
Thank you.
I paid my dues.
That boy Cherry don't even got to run the prelims. They just advanced. We know he's gonna carry it at 43.
I mean.
I don't disappoint him.
He's reliable.
I don't disappoint him. I don't disappoint him. So I'm trying to get my open to 43 to match my relay too. So
that's gonna be nice. So I always ask the folks who come in this because it's a big piece, that transition from the college piece to being a pro, because in college, everything's what you learn is everything has been taken care of for you. All your hotels have been booked and all your equipment is purchased and your meals paid for. And then all of a sudden you're doing all of that on your own, or you're trying to get an agent and all this other stuff. And it gets pretty real pretty quickly. So tell me about that transition, when you left LSU and you were, becoming a pro. How was that for you? What was surprising? What was expected? What was unexpected?
What was surprising was the money. I thought the money was going to be way bigger. I thought we was going to be at least B-level NFL players.
No, listen, people don't know this. Track.
The money is cool, so I ain't gonna lie. Like, if you got to do a whole lot to get to the money. Like, it's there. It's definitely there. So a lot of people downplay track and say there's no money in this sport. There's definitely money in this sport. You just have to actually work your way to get it. Like, this is not going to be handed to you. So I learned that out immediately when I got it. Like, and even like I thought I was gonna be signed immediately. Like, soon I'll be done. I thought companies is gonna be here. Like, it was a process. So like I went like a good month or two broke. I ain't have no money at all. Like, I was in Europe like $40. I went to my first Diamond League. I probably had $40 in my account. I'm telling myself like I gotta win this race right here to get this 10K on.
Now this is when? This is after college. So you've had a success.
Like, this is like no. So like I'm talking about like fresh out. So literally like I graduated. I finished school in June. I ran USA's July, and I'm in a Diamond League in August. So like,
how'd you do at USA's?
USA's fresh out of school, I got fifth.
Okay, that's pretty good coming right out.
Yeah, so I got fifth that year, and this is 2017. So 2017 got fifth. Came straight out. Went to I went overseas. Ran at Lausanne in London. So Lausanne I got fourth. London I won. And at that time I still didn't have a contract. I didn't get a contract until around.
So. Let me get this. Hold on. You came out of college, and what were you running at the time?
44, maybe like 44.70, 44.60, I think. Oh,
What'd you get at NCAA's?
NCAA got second.
So you got second at NCAA championship.
Both years, and I got second indoors too. Yeah.
So you're coming out as one of the best quarter milers in the NCAA, and then you go to USA, so you're competing with the pros, and you get fifth, and you have no contract. No contract, no money. And now you're trying to figure out how to get to meets to make some money. So you got to go to Diamond League. Now you got to prove yourself.
Yeah.
This is crazy that this is how it is.
I tell people a lot of times. I think a lot of people in college think it's just gonna be like all nice. Like you're gonna come straight out. The contract gonna be thrown at you. The money's gonna be thrown at you. The travel's gonna be thrown at you. But it's really like a process. Like I remember like texting other athletes at the same time, like trying to figure out like when is the check gonna come in? Like, yo, like, no, you sign yet? And then you start seeing it kind of like trickle down. Like you'll see like the winner NCs get their contract. Then you'll see someone that got like 4th place get a contract. You see 800 runner that you never seen like win anything. He has a deal now. He sounds like Brooks Beast or something like that. Now I'm blowing my agent up, telling him like, yo, like where's my deal? Like where's my deal? Where's my deal? Where's my deal? He's still saying like we're working on it. We're working on it. I'm like, damn. I feel like I'm like elite. Like I'm like, yo,
yeah,
like,
you think you're nice at this point?
No, like if you look back like the past years in NCAAs, nobody ran faster than me. I lost to the dude that had the collegiate record. So I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm the next best available. Like this NBA draft, I'm supposed to be second. Like,
yeah.
You feel me? Like I feel like I'm supposed to be next up. So we waited and waited. I actually went to Worlds. I got my deal probably like a little bit at Worlds. I think I signed literally in London. So after that, it was pretty much good. But I want to say the next season was cool. It was a little different for me because at this point you're not running every single weekend. So you know, like when you're in college, you got to run Friday, like literally weeks after weeks after weeks. So now it's kind of like setting you up on like a pro schedule. So you might run once in February and then again in March. And now you're feeling kind of rusty. And then it kind of plays with your mental too, because you can't come out and just drop a fast time because maybe it's not your season's not set up like that. Well, in college, your coach has you like primed and ready to run. So that kind of like messed me up a little bit too, coming into my first year professional, definitely. But that's probably like the biggest hump for me, like just and knowing how to adjust, like, you know, like in college, you're going to like Arkansas or Texas. And as a professional, you got to fly from Louisiana to Italy. And then you're expected to perform the same way you did in college, but within 2 days. You're jet lag, you're tired. I remember being in college talking trash to my roommate, like, yo, these dudes is bums. They running 45.
Yeah.
Like what? I jogged that in my prelim yesterday. Like, and then I get off the plane, my first meet in China. I ran like 45.6, dog. I'm so sick. I got my head down. I'm in the hotel room, yo, dying. I missed my flight, my first season to Jamaica, and came the night before the meet. I get to the race the next day, run 46 seconds. I call JB. I'm literally like about to commit suicide. I can't believe it. Like, yo, I just ran 46, dog. He like,
oh yeah,
you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And then the next week, I want to run in 44 seconds. So like the mental game of it is crazy tough too, because a lot of collegians think you can just jump out the bed and run your PB like you do in college, but you're not going to be in your little hotel room or at your apartment chilling and then get to go to the track and warm up. It's going to be like you're jet lag, tired. I'm dead. Like you might not have your trainers with you. Like it's a whole lot of stuff that you have to really like take the difference and see the difference in as being a professional and being a collegiate. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's what Adrian was talking about, right? Like you coming out of LSU where your trainers with you, your coaches with you, all right, everything your transportation, right? All you got to do is show up to the bus. Literally. You know what I'm saying? Like you got
time used to be written down. Like,
I'm about to say your whole itinerary. So how did you mentally have to make those adjustments from, you know, being an SEC athlete and having everything catered to you having to get your own flight and make sure that you there and find a trainer? Like what was your mental making that transition?
My mental was, I mean, for myself, I just thought about like what I had to do. Like, so instead of my coaches writing my warm-up stuff, I had to do it now. So I go home and just basically like prepare everything before the meet. Like, so if it's warm, I know my coach is not going to be here because a lot of times like your coach can't travel with you like you could in college. So I go home, prepare that, write out a warm-up card. I just do whatever I make myself. I want to copy the same schedule I had in college, but just do it for myself to make sure mentally that I'm okay, like that I'm not going to struggle and feel like, and even like, this is technically like my 3rd year. Like I'm still kind of like young. So I'm still learning certain stuff and still trying to put certain stuff together to make it so I can become a complete professional. Cause I feel like I've been pro for a long time, but it really hasn't been that long. Like I just got
a rookie.
Yeah. So I'm still kind of learning on the fly, like with a lot of different stuff I'm doing. Like when it comes to like warming up or getting off the plane and traveling and picking the right meets or just knowing when I want to run and when I don't want to run and learning my body. So it's a lot of stuff. So mentally, I just had to prepare, like do it the best I can, like at this point.
Well, it sounds like you know, obviously you take it very seriously, and you know, I like having you here, you know, that you're still in the game, because it's like your story is still being written. Like who knows, you know, we could be talking to you, you know, after the Olympics, and you have, you know, some more hardware on you.
For sure.
So no, it's but I like highlighting how real it is though. You know, that it's not it's not all fun and games and a fairy tale. You had to work to get here, and you've gotten a lot out of it, obviously, but you're still having to work.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a point where you're just like, okay, I'm here and I'm done. Like, you're continuing to have to try to become better. And, you know, I think that's a common theme in life, you know, that we can never just kind of sit back and be like, all right, I'm here. You know, it's a constant working and striving, you know, if you want to continue progressing and getting better. So, no, that's I like hearing that, you know. I want to see what's going to be next. Tell me about this world record, because that was, you know, I like bringing it up, but that was a pretty cool race for me, and you guys dominated it. And you know, I don't know, I've run on some 4x4s, but none on that level.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a new thing, so I just want to kind of hear about it. What it was
when
like.
They first talked about it, when they first brought it up, they said we was gonna have a mix. So soon I made the team, I told them immediately, I don't want to run a mix. I'm not running a mix. That's that.
Come on.
That's embarrassing.
Come on.
I told them, listen,
you have like a
mix.
viral clip now because of that.
I was gonna stay home. I wasn't
man,
I was,
out of here.
That's serious. I wasn't even going to Doha.
They pay for world records, don't they?
Look, but we didn't know that at the time, though.
Cash that check.
Hey, look, that's what I'm about to get to. We didn't know that at the time. So we was at like the USA versus Europe, I think. USA versus Europe. I talked to the relay coaches. I'm like, look, man, if I gotta run the mix.
Wait, slow down. Hold on. I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
USA versus Europe. This is like in like Belarus. So this like the meet like a little bit before World. So I ran like the 400 there, and the relay coaches are there too, like Oren and Michelle. I'm telling them like, look, if I'm running the mix, I'm not running. Like I'm not even gonna go. I might just stay home. Like if I'm not running 4x4, I'm not going. Like
so you wanted to be on the main A team 4x4.
Not even the A team, but at least let me run the prelims. You feel me? Like not the relay, not the B team relay with the girls and stuff.
Come on.
So look, but let me get to.
Yeah, I like he's giving you the real perspective though, right? Like how he actually felt about going into this.
I was pissed. I really told the coaches like I'm thinking about staying home. Like I'm about to just give my spot up and let somebody let a collegiate or something go run on the mix. Like I don't.
Hold on, I'm sorry, Cherry. I can't hear you. Could you?
I said I was gonna give my spot up and just let a collegiate run on the mix. Like I'm not about to run on the mix. Like there's no way I'm about to put myself.
Okay, and so what convinced you to go ahead?
Then we get to Doha, and we're doing like the relay exchanges and stuff. They say Allison running, so I'm like, oh. If Allison running,
so now you're hyped. Exactly.
I was like, yo, Allison running, I can run too. Like, I'm not too big time for the mix. Then the prelims team broke the world record. They said the relay coach came over to me and said, oh, they getting a world record bonus for that if y'all don't break it tomorrow. I said, put me on the final. Put me on the final. I'm like, yeah. They said it's gonna be me, Allison, Will, and Courtney and Colo. I'm like, oh, that's easy, dub. Easy money. I need to be on that relay team for real.
Now, this is all it takes to get past a little. Listen, he was embarrassed until he heard that Allison was on it and that they were paying that world record money.
They said 100,000. They said 100,000 bonus, right? 100,000.
Oh, man.
And Allison was on it. So I'm gonna jump on. Like, why would I not? Why would I let Allison? Allison is way greater than me. Like, you know, I'm cool, but I'm not no Allison. Like,
yeah.
I can get on the relay now. So, you know, they was like, oh, I bet you want to get on now. So after I ran the mix, I'm like, I don't need to run the 4x4 now. I'm good. Y'all can keep that. I started talking trash to them. Y'all can keep the 4x4. I made my money now. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Y'all can have that. They're like,
and you got a good highlight. Yeah. You got to walk the which team was that? Was that Russia?
That was Poland. That was payback from what they did to us World Indoors.
Oh, okay.
They messed up our World Indoor record in 18 in London. They walked down my old teammates, so they did us bad. But no, I wasn't even worried about walking on the girl. That was like the least of my worries. I'm just like, man, I didn't want to be out there. You can see my face when they put the camera on me when we coming out. I got my head down. I'm like,
man, get out of here.
I'm trying to hurry up and get this over with. I'm like, this is embarrassing to me. Like, I'm doing
get out of here.
Hey, but you got Allison Felix on that relay. Number one, you know she gonna go after that record.
Exactly.
And then number two, if Allison Felix is on there, then it's legit.
Who am I to say it's not?
I'm about to say, don't
just go ahead and line up and pass that baton around.
There you go.
And get your check and your medal.
If Allison didn't run, I would not respect it though. No lie, I wouldn't respect it.
All right, man. So, okay. I wanted to ask you about COVID, I know that a lot of folks are still training and competing. You're still training and competing. And, the pandemic has been tough because the Olympics were, postponed, and now no one's sure what's happening with the Olympics. So how is that, how has the adjustment been for you? How is that affecting your training, and what's the plan right now going into the summer?
I mean, right now it affected a lot, especially last year, because LA has been closed down really since literally like last season. So we've been closed maybe since like March. So our weight room got closed down. We work out at Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym has been closed down basically the whole time. We don't have a track to train on, so I've been in the park a whole lot. We usually train at West LA. So West LA got closed down. We moved from West LA to UCLA. Then they kicked us off the UCLA track. So we went from there back to the park. And it was basically just running sprints at the park, doing a lot of hills. I was running basically like long. And then this season, same thing. The season started. We worked out at the park. The track was still closed, so we had to find like a little track like in Long Beach. And then we was going there maybe like once or twice a week, not even like every day. So we've been on the track maybe once or twice. And then the weight room, I had to buy weight equipment myself. So I got like a whole Gold's Gym downstairs in my garage. So I just lift weights in my garage with myself with no coach or anything like that. So it affected me a lot. It was pretty bad. Like it's different just because you can't really like get everything on demand like you want to, or get everything done that you really want to get done. So my coaches, we're really making the best we can out of the situation. Still trying to get the work in, but we can't really get every single thing that we want to do at the right time too. So yeah.
Okay. And so right now,
I can't imagine how that's throwing off the timing though. I can't imagine how that's throwing off the timing. What about race wise though, right? Like, so through COVID, I know this summer a lot of the pros put off a nice little setup in Texas, right?
Yeah. That was nice. That was nice. We had a little contract meet where we ran like 10 events that counted as 5 meets or something like that to get to our thing. And we went out there, ran good to our ability, got it done, and that was pretty much cool. But we need to do that just so we meet the contract requirements, so won't nobody get reduced or anything like that.
Hold on. Don't skim past that, because folks might not know what you're talking about here. So if you're gonna bring it up, let's talk about it.
As a professional, you're required to run at a certain amount of meets, and if you're not at the certain amount of meets, then they're required to reduce you. So for us, we went
reduce you meaning
cut your money, so your money can be cut.
So if you don't run in a certain amount of meets in a year, they will cut your money.
Yeah.
You hear what he's saying? COVID didn't change the requirement.
Yeah. So even with COVID, if you run a certain number of meets, your money is cut.
We need you to run 10 meets. We know it's a pandemic, but if you don't get those 10 meets, we're gonna cut you.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I felt bad, but at the same time, they are paying you to do a job. Even though it's COVID, it's pretty tough, but we still went out there because we knew we had to. And even after I ran 2 extra meets too, so I went to Orlando and ran, and then I went to Atlanta and ran into 2 domestic meets too, to make sure that all my contract stuff was required, that I hit it, and basically I can get some runs in for the next season, because I knew that I didn't have a whole indoor season last year, and I only had like 2 to 3 races outdoor too last year as well. And no telling like when the virus is gonna go away, so I wanted to get something in and not just have a whole season off 2020 and then have to come back in 2021, not knowing how I feel.
So they set up a meet for you guys.
Yeah, they set up a meet for us. Yep.
And how did it work? How did you guys do
so basically it was like a 2-day
Hustle Man Invitational. The Hustle Man.
It was like a 2-day meet. We had like 5 events, and we'll run like 3. It was like the 3 to 60, the 150, 200, and that kind of track meets right there. And then the next day, kind of like the same thing. We had like the 60 to 100, the 200, 250, 300, and that counted as a track meet right there. So get your requirements, and then you're good after that. So we used that kind of like a training session. It was like a training session for me, like run all those events in the same day. Some people put on flats, some people put on spikes and ran, but just got it in so we can get the most of it. It was good though.
Yeah, that's you got to make it work. It was funny you were talking about all the different creative ways that you're training now. And that remind me of how you guys used to train back in your high school days, because Coach Byron is well known. He's famous for just building a gym out of something. And so I remember the storage the storage
dungeon.
The dungeon.
The dungeon. Yeah, the dungeon. The dungeon was was a great place. The dungeon was a great place. That's where we got in. I still tell all my coaches now about it. I'm like, high school, we barely even used spikes, man. We was in there, treadmill, VO2 max test, box jumping. Like, I felt like he turned me into a machine literally from that day on. Like, I had like the best mental. Like, I really felt like I didn't need to be too prepared to do something.
And it was a storage unit too, right? Like, this wasn't a storage unit.
It was pretty big though. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
it was big.
Pretty big storage unit.
Whoa. Don't let's not jump the gun. It was some progress when we first.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. Okay, let me give the hold on. Let me give the folks some background.
I'm thinking about the last one though. I'm thinking about the last one.
Let me give folks some background.
So
Coach JB here, he had built his own training facility inside of a storage unit. So when you go to like who owns those storage units?
Like public storage.
Yeah, like if you just want to rent a storage unit, he rented like a big one out and turned it into a gym. I don't know how you got permission to get the work done that was in there. I don't want to get you in trouble.
We first started with one 10x10 unit, and we were ordering equipment off of a Craigslist, which was sketchy as a mug. So we just had some sketchy equipment and one 10x10. Then we got two 10x10s. Then we got three 10x10s.
You had a treadmill in there too. You had a treadmill.
Yeah, we had a treadmill in there. We had some old rusty.
That's in the 1 10x10. It was a treadmill.
We had a treadmill, some old rusty dumbbells, and some old, not even the Olympic weights, like the little home weights. We was doing power cleans and everything. We used to bring in our little hurdles. We was in the hallway. People trying to move couches. We in there doing hurdle drills, bro. We doing wicked.
I thought JB was rich too. I'm like, oh, this thing.
He spent a lot of his money.
I'm like, he's rich, dog. He has to be rich. Like, yo, we had treadmill, turf. We had some turf at some point too.
We had turf.
I like how you skipped over what I said about how I don't know how you got permission to get some of that building.
The jump was definitely illegal.
Because you had some. It was like welded. It was like this storage. I was like, hold on.
All types of fire code violations.
You had a track in there.
I'm gonna tell you,
how did you do this?
Scariest thing. I'm gonna tell you what was so scary. With Cherry and so many of the other great athletes out of that area was doing so well out of the dungeon. So then, like, the newspaper was like, "Hey, can we come do an article?" I don't know. They're gonna shut. If you come do an article, they might shut us down, bro. We might get it. And we didn't
think nothing about that though.
It was a good story. It was creative, and it was actually it was really good. We just don't know about the zoning laws.
Oh, we knew.
That place definitely prepared me. That prepared me for anything else. For sure. I never complained about nothing.
But the thing is, you guys had a place to train when it was 20 degrees outside in Norfolk, and no one else did. Because wasn't that was that Boo Williams? That was before they built the track.
That was when Boo had first dropped, and I mean, you couldn't really get in there to train.
Yeah.
We wasn't really going.
Dungeon.
We probably went like once a week.
To the dungeon?
Nah, to Boo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we was in that dungeon.
Once every other week or something like that. We barely could get it in because coach being there arguing with the other coaches and stuff like that, trying to get us some time to get on the track. You know, it was rough though, but that time was the best time. I feel like that really taught me like the hustle and to really like really grind it out. Like I feel like we was in there. Other athletes, you got other like D1 athletes too, future professionals. It was me, Shaquila, Heather was in there at the time. Kadeem, it was a lot of good athletes in there at the time, and it was just legit. I like the whole setup though, definitely.
And you gotta remember, man, when we first met Cherry, see now everybody see the Instagram 300 shoes padded up Cherry. When we first got a hold of Cherry, he was this skinny, uncoordinated dude. He couldn't do a hurdle drill, awkward as a mug. So
listen, I play football. Nobody does that in football. Nobody had to A skip and B skip. I played basketball. I never really wanted to run track. I was like, man, I'm not running track. I just got so good that first year that I was like, all right, this might be a sport for me. Like, who knows? Like, this is okay. But yeah, I remember not being able to do an A skip, B skip.
Hurdle drills. My man was twisting his ankle on hurdle drills. It was like if you would have came in Durant and just saw him, you would have been like, oh, there's no way.
He seen me. I feel like, hold up, was he by us? Like,
yeah,
I met you when you were ready to start. You were ready.
Nah, because look, was you around the Florida trip, right?
Nah, he came in a little later. He came in
I
a little
met
later.
you when you were ready. You were ready.
I was on the Florida trip.
Oh, you know what
Nah,
though? But
Durant wasn't there
I
yet.
had to have been around when you started working with Cherry because you were in Virginia and we
Correct.
moved to Virginia at the same time.
Yeah,
But I
for
just
sure.
don't think I met him until
He was a little bit more seasoned.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody see the seasoned Cherry
I
now.
was already seasoned.
But that's how it always is, right? Everyone always sees the finished product. They never see, you know, what happens beforehand, all the work and the journey. And, you know, that's why we talk about the journey. So people know it was a lot of stuff that had to get put into the mix for this to happen.
Sure. And I'll tell you this, man, that like I said, when Cherry first came into the program, he was raw, right? Like he said, he's coming from a football and basketball background. He's coming from a part of Chesapeake where not a lot of people are successful in anything. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be
South Norfolk, we didn't have nothing for
South,
like,
yeah, you rapping, trapping, or you make it to the league, right? Am I lying?
Yeah, for sure. My school was
you
like,
rap, trap, or make it to the league. So I think, you know, we did go back and forth about how important track was, and for me, you know, that was my thing. I was trying to push track on these kids as a tool. And Cherry will tell you, I told all the kids, like, listen, man, this is a tool for you to get an education, right? And Cherry was like, I'm not a school guy. I remember this conversation. He said, I'm not a school guy. No, listen, college is for everybody, whether you like school or not.
I didn't want to go to college before I met him. Like, no lie, like that was like the least of my worries. I was like, all right, if I become a D1 football player, then I'll go to college. But other than that, my mind was not on no type of school or anything. Like, nah, it was over with.
Oh, nah. So listen, these were conversations that we would have to have, these one-offs, where I'm like, listen, you've got to use this gift, you got to use this tool so that you can get an education, right? You got to use these things. And then I'm gonna be real with you, maybe like going into senior year, I sat him down, I was like, yo, you can do this, right? You remember that conversation? I was like, man, we got to, like, you can go pro in this, you can make money.
I think it got real for us. I got real for us, like nationals, indoor nationals, my junior year. After we was not known at all, and then I ran like 46.8, and everybody started going crazy. It was like 30 college coaches and everything. He like, look, I ain't gonna lie, like, I think you could be legit. Like, we was talking about, we need to low key try to go pro. Like,
up until that point, I thought he was just a college guy. You know what I'm saying? But he ran 46.8 at an indoor meet, man, and it was as a junior in high school, and that was pretty astonishing. And so, like I said, from there, I think we kind of revamped. And again, if we're having a real conversation, we had to go through and start talking to Cherry's counselors. Cherry was not on track academically to go to college.
Yeah.
Am I lying?
See,
no, I didn't do.
Go ahead.
I wanted, because you guys are hitting so many.
Hold on. Let me plug my laptop. I'm playing my laptop about the dog.
Oh, I thought you were about to pull up your high school transcript.
No. Hell no.
Nobody want to see that transcript.
No. You guys are covering such good points. Like, there's one thing that you said earlier that I wanted to acknowledge is that he said that I'll let him get back.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna be on YouTube, man.
You gotta edit this part out.
I'm not either. That's the thing. I'm really not.
That's crazy.
I'm not going to.
You're not gonna edit this out?
I'm not.
Keep it real.
It's gonna be on there. They're gonna be like, you know, it's game of cheer.
Camera straight rolling.
No. He said that, and I want to acknowledge this. They thought you were rich. And so everybody who we've spoken to, you know, they had somebody in their life who is supporting them, just really supporting them. Everybody, you know, some multiple people, but just really supporting them. And you were putting so much into these kids in this program that they thought you were rich because he was spending his own personal money on all kind of things. I've seen him buy socks for these kids. So, you know, there's always somebody like that in the story of these people who've achieved some success. And you could be that person in somebody else's life. You know, you never know. So I just like seeing these common themes, you know, that there's always somebody there supporting and pushing everybody who's accomplished some level of success.
Without him, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today at all. Like, literally, like, he was literally like my motivation, even at Florida State when I feel like I wasn't running as well as I should. I just always thought about him, like, damn, like, what would he be saying to me right now? Like, I'm really not performing the best. Like, I always go back to him. Like, it was times like in school, like, I think I would run like pretty legit. So I remember like the beginning of my senior year, we went to Hispanic games. I won the race. He was working on kind of like trying to drive out. This is indoors too. So I get out, I run like 48 seconds. Yo, he don't talk to me for the rest of the day. I win the meet too. So this is like 48.0. A year before, this would have been my fastest time, like up to date. Like I never ran 48.0 before indoors. But since I ran 46 the year before, he was mad that I ran 48 seconds to open my season. He would not talk to me the whole time. We're in the room. He is not talking to me the whole time. Like I'm in high school too. Like, oh, and it got so bad with him. Like it got so bad with him that I started like doing it to myself. Like if I have a bad race, I come back to practice. I won't talk. Well, I won't talk until I race again. So literally, like having him just making me be better mentally and physically and working on myself and just preparing myself to become the athlete that I am today. It definitely worked out.
No, that's pretty cool. So, what are the plans? I mean, last update I heard there were rumors about Olympics being canceled, and then they were saying, "Oh, that's not true." You know, what you're on the scene right now. You're training, getting ready for the Olympics and whatnot. What have you heard, and what's your plans going forward? Do you have some meets lined up?
Yeah, right now, I'm supposed to go to some. I'm trying to run indoor meets. I'm trying to convince my coach to let me run some. I talked to Coach B, so he was trying to get me to come out to Virginia. So I try to debate my coach a little bit. I think he's gonna let me run maybe like next week or.
So who you training with right now?
I'm training with John Smith.
Okay, so you're training with.
I want to get at another little segment. First,
I got time.
Go into your, what are your plans with you and your coach this upcoming year, right? Like, obviously it's not a perfect world. We're in a new norm, but what do you think that you guys are going to work through this year? What have you guys been discussing? And then we're going to jump back into how it is training with the legendary John Smith.
Yeah. Oh. So right now, we pretty much just trying to find places to train. So we're in LA, so LA is still pretty much closed down. So we're kind of working from the park, going to like another track, which is kind of like 30-40 minutes out from my house right there. So we're gonna try to get on the track a little bit more and more and more, but it's so far that it's kind of hard. So we're gonna do the best we can to prepare and use indoor, maybe race like twice, and then get to outdoor, start the season, and from there train some more, and just trying to prepare myself the best I can at this point, because I feel like it's kind of hard in LA because we don't have a lot of resources, but we're doing the best we can to do it. And they're saying Olympics is going to be held in July, so we're just going to prepare for Olympic trials the best we can.
Okay. And yeah, being in LA is tough. Is there any thought to going anywhere to another area to train?
Nah, I mean, I thought about it. I thought about moving before the season started. My agents kind of convinced me to stay here, and they said it'd be the best for me. I'm not sure, but I'm still here right now, so I got to make the most of what I really have. And at this point, I guess we're gonna try to get on track some more and more and just prepare, because if we don't, shoot, other people not slacking off. That's how I feel.
Hey, some folks running some times out there.
Yeah, so, I can't have no excuses. So I feel like but like mentally, I feel like I'm gonna be prepared, and physically, I think I'm definitely gonna be prepared to take it on and be ready for Olympic trials and post meets after that.
Okay, Coach Byron, JB, you mentioned John Smith, right?
Yeah.
So so you want to. John Smith has coached some of the greatest track athletes there've been. Maurice Green trained with him, and I don't know, you guys probably know a bunch of the others. Yeah, exactly. So
what's that experience like, man? I mean, what's that experience like? And a lot of people don't even get to have a legendary coach work with them. I mean, I know you had a legendary coach in high school, you know what I'm saying? But
I feel like I had all legiondary coaches.
There you go. Yeah, all legendary.
Everybody's legendary in their own way.
In their own right. So
I've been in a couple different places, but John's different. I feel like for him, he's more like a spiritual, like a more of a talking type of coach. He's not as fiery as I thought he would be. Because like I guess he's kind of like older now, so he's more calm with the athletes. But like he's one of those guys that like to use like wise words and riddles to try to get you going. And I'm more of like the fiery, like I need you to talk trash to me. So we're kind of like I'm trying to like blend right now. The workouts are pretty cool. Like he's balanced. He would go like we do like a lot of longer stuff than I'm kind of used to. Like I do like thousands, some 600s, and like towards the end of the season, I start sprinting a little bit more, but not too much sprinting. I thought that would be like a little different too. So that's that. And yeah, overall, he's just like a wise dude. I feel like he's been around for so long that he literally tries to get to you with just using riddles and themes. And yeah. Like he can tell you some stuff that you'll be like, you don't know what it has to do with the moment, but you know it's definitely like related.
I feel like I've seen him in action before, and I would say you're probably right. He's probably, calmed down, because I've seen him chewing some folks out at a world championship at the practice track.
Sometimes I can get out of him. So like sometimes I can piss him off at practice. I might not run through the line in a rep, and he'll just get pissed off, like run to the line. Like I told you, do this. So he'll get fired up. But this is like once a month, like maybe once every 2 months or something like that. So I try to get it out of him too much, but not stress him out. So, but now he's a little bit more calm now, and so we're still learning each other. Like just like my third year here, maybe like my third year, and we just kind of like learn each other. Like, I feel like we know more like on the physical level than like the mental level. Mental level, like he just kind of looks at me like, all right, he's kind of hard headed. Like I might have to like turn up a little bit more to get.
All your coaches look at you like that.
No. Hey, look, my similar coaches. So I always had similar coaches. The two coaches that kind of remind me of each other, that would like the passive way, I would kind of say is John and Ken. Okay. So, and I kind of don't really like that, because I like my mom's kind of crazy. Like all my family's kind of like crazy. So I need that person to kind of like be in my head, telling me like the toxic stuff. So then we go to like Coach B and Coach Benny. Like y'all are kind of like on the same level. Coach Benny call me trash all the time. Like, he tell me I'm losing to like Lamar. I think I'm losing to one of my teammates, Lamar. He probably ran like 45-8. He like, you got Lamar looking like Carl Lewis out here. What are you doing? like he'll always be like in my ear. So at that point, I'm kind of like putting the own pressure on myself and trying to make myself feel better. So now here, I'm by myself, training by myself, and the coaching style is different. So I gotta find like my own ways to like get myself up, and like my people in my group is still kind of quiet. I'm not used to that either. I'm used to having like louder teammates and a little bit more outgoing like me. So right now, it's cool training with them, but we're still learning each other at this moment.
And one of the things we talked about with LaShawn was, as you get older, right? Because I made a joke to LaShawn, like, man, you nearly training yourself at this point, right? Like we've joked about it. LaShawn do his base training in Florida. He go to Virginia for 2 months. LaShawn will go over and say, like, LaShawn, who you train with? Like, man, I'm just getting it done. You know what I'm saying? So LaShawn just, so as you're getting older though, are you getting to the point where you are a little more self-sustainable? Like, obviously Coach Durant and I, we make our living coaching, right? We know you need the coach, you know what I'm saying? But how are you doing as you're getting older? Are you putting some more things together? Are you learning your body? Are you understanding, what to pull from and things like that?
I think for me, like the biggest thing for me when I got older was just learning like the small things, like self-discipline. Like, remember you used to always tell me a lot about that stuff in high school. I really wasn't listening to you. And then my college coaches tell me that too. I still wouldn't listen. Like I was always partying. Like, I'm from a different background. So like I want to be with girls and I want to party and I want to get nice things. I don't want to like be in a house and going to sleep at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, drinking water. Like that's not fun. Like, like who really doing that? Like I got friends that's really outside partying. So like for me, getting older taught me to have, like, to be better in the sport, you have to have discipline. So doing that and being more disciplined and learning my overall body, like on a health norm, like, no, all right, I need to do extra stuff in order to stay healthy. Like I can't just go out there and try to lift weights and not do like the little small, simple, like ankle mobility, hamstring stuff, like different stuff that I was doing early on that I feel like I kind of lost because my coaches wasn't like pushing it up on me. So now at this point, I feel like as a professional and as an older, more experienced athlete, that I'm letting myself know that I actually need this stuff in order to be better. And if I don't have it, then it's really going to be not good in my corner. So that, and what else I would say? I would say workout wise, I'm starting to learn like what I really, really need. Because I feel like for me, I'm like more of like a stronger 400 meter runner. And I feel like in the past, a lot of my coaches just want to like run me on like a lot of like longer stuff, tempo. But at this point, I'm starting to feel like, all right, if I want to compete with the best people in the world, then I'm gonna have to have some speed to back it up. Like you got guys like Michael Norman running 9.8, and he can run 19. So like that's really like a 100 meter runner running 400 meters. Like, so I'm not gonna really be him running repeat 600s and 350s and stuff like that. Like later on in the season, I feel like at this point I'd have to be working more on my mechanics and just becoming a better sprinter. Because like I feel like when I met JB, I was kind of like 800 runner. Like I was still running a lot of distance stuff. So he broke a lot of it out in me, told me we're not going to run no long stuff. We're going to run the 200, and we're not even going to run the 400 for a while. We're just going to run the 200 and just work on your sprint mechanics and coordination. So I really got to get back to some stuff like that and just letting my coaches realize and learn me. So, and it's kind of hard for me too, because I feel like I had a different coach like every 2 years of my time of running track. I never really had the same coach like that. So it was in high school when I started running. I had Coach Davis. He was my indoor coach. Then I had a different coach outdoors. And then, they were just giving us random workouts. Like, it didn't really matter. They'd Google some stuff, find it out. So then I met JB, was with him for 2 years. I would say 2 years. Then I went to Coach Ken. I was with Ken for 2 years. Left Ken, went to Shaver, 2 years. Now I'm with John. This is like my second, third year. And I wasted a year last year because we couldn't run. So for me, it's just like getting on the same page with my coaches. I think a lot of people have that over me. So that too, that's pretty much hard.
You know what I wanted to ask you about? We talked to Sean about this a little bit because you're with Nike, right?
Yep.
Sean mentioned a couple things dealing with Nike and just, coaching situations and things like that. I don't want to get you in trouble, but,
we kind of we ain't trying to mess up nobody's money in a pandemic.
Listen, what show is that? Is that Vlad? He was like, look, man, I'm gonna ask the question.
Yeah.
If you wanna answer, that's up to you.
You sell drugs, like
yeah, if you want to answer, you answer, go ahead. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'll say how I feel about it. I feel like a lot of the companies, man, they don't really support the athletes at the level that they should. They get you and they get you a contract, which is really pennies when you think about what they really could do. And it's like, as soon as you face in a lot of athletes' cases, some hardships, or for the female athletes, when they get pregnant and they're not able to compete, it's like you get abandoned by these companies. They're not responsible for taking care of you in any way. And it's like, I just don't, I think at this point where we are, there should be more of a in-depth look at it and say, is this how the athlete should be treated? Is this how, there's no power in the athlete's hands at all. It's all in the company. So I just, over the years, just haven't ever been a fan of just how things are in the sport regarding the companies and the contracts and how the athletes are treated and not really taken care of. And so you're on the inside, you're in the game now, and I just was curious about just your general feelings of how it's been.
Let me word that better so you can take it and not mess up your contract.
That was still too much. I thought
He left. He had to leave the screen so he wouldn't mess up his money.
Yeah, but see, the folks who are not on YouTube, the ones who download it, yes, he walked away. Okay, he's back.
He's back. So let me ask you this, Adrian, and I'm gonna ask Cherry too. Right? It's a loaded question, but either A, what do you think is wrong with the sport? / B, what things do we need to do to try to change it? Because our sport is dying. Our professionals are not in the same limelight, right? As they're going around the world representing the USA, they're not embraced the same way as an NFL player or NBA player. And that's real because that's not the same market. But let me ask Durant first so Cherry can get his words together. We ain't trying to mess up that check. Right?
That's a better answer, right? That's a better question right there. I can do that.
I'm trying to save your money. See, Coach Durant make.
Put me on the hot seat, bro. I'm trying to put me on the hot seat. Nah.
Yeah, you making head coach money. I'm trying to think about the people that don't make head coach money. How can we answer the question so that we don't lose our contract?
I tried.
Coach Durant, if you could, I mean, you hit it a little bit, but what are some things, whether it be one thing, either you think that is actually wrong with the infrastructure of our sport, / what is something that you would suggest to try to help move the sport forward and support these athletes like Cherry?
Oh, wow. That's a very good question. Probably a long conversation. I know a lot of folks have proposed a lot of things, like having a league or having athletes unions. I can't say that I've sat down and really, worked out what the best solution is. I think that, I've had been involved in some discussion and there are conversations going on. Personally, I just feel like there needs to be some more power in some way in the hands of the athletes. Um, I just don't like when I go to something like the World Championship and it's just like you go to some of these hospitalities and I'm sure you've been in them, Cherry, as well. And it's just like Nike versus it's the companies on who has the most medals. It's like, and that athlete who has a medal just the next year can pull their hamstring and they're cut. No kind of security, no kind of insurance. That just doesn't seem, that's been going on too long, and that just can't be the best way. There's been so many amazing athletes who got to such a high level who just, you have a bad year or two, and then without the support, you still have bills to pay, and if you're not making any money, it's an issue. And I have it's an issue with the fact that you could be a gold medalist and really not really have any kind of contract. So there are a couple problems, I would say. I mean, you've been in the game too, JB. What do you think?
Mine is mine is probably not as political.
Me too.
I'm gonna be honest with you. My issue with the sport is that I don't think that track and field has adopted the hip hop culture, right? And I've been saying this recently to some of my close knit friends. I'm glad I get to say it publicly now on Coach Durant's highly touted podcast, right? So I hope this is a snippet. You know what I'm saying? But when I look at football, when I look at basketball, and again, this is not exactly what I'm saying to protect the athletes, but when I look at football, when I look at basketball, both of those sports have adopted the hip hop culture. ESPN has adopted the hip hop culture, but in track, it's just so stiff, right? Because the sport is so statistical, right, and it's so quantitative. We have no wiggle room for any type of culture, right? Our culture is just time. Like our websites are boring. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being real. Like if you really asking me, like when you go look at a football or a basketball website, it's all of this flare and glare. And then you look at the track, it's just time, like 60, 200. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I just feel as though we've been kind of left behind. And since we've been left behind, we have not been able to appeal to people outside of our sport, which then gives us less support, which then gives us less leadway, which then gives us the athletes and the coaches less ability, whether it be to make money or support themselves. But I just think we don't appeal well to people who don't run track because we're the equivalent of basketball in the 1970s. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still left in the past because we have never moved forward as a culture in our sport.
For sure. I think we lowered it down.
And that's another conversation. But
I want to comment, but I want to hear Cherry's answer to the original, whichever question was the original one on Jet, and without getting him in trouble.
Whichever gonna protect his money.
Okay, so he could just talk. What do you think generally, just being a pro, but still in just a couple years out, so still kind of a rookie pro, slowly becoming a veteran pro. What problems have you seen? I mean, I know it wasn't just smooth for you. So what issues have you seen just, in general?
I think for me, it's kind of like more of the lines with Coach B said. I think it's like a promotion thing. I think that we're not like put on like a promotional level. Like even our agents are getting 15% from our money, but we're not getting like, 15% worth of paying them that. Like NFL agents probably take like 5%, 2%. Something like that, something like real small. So I feel like for us, we're not getting the extra deals and the extra promotional things like the gas stations or I see a lot of stuff like that with Europe, like the Red Bulls or any extra promotion stuff that can go into our jerseys and get us more money. Like people don't know who we are. Like Lil Muhammad broke the world record last year, and she came back on our flight, and nobody knew who she was. Like
crazy.
If Michael Vick stepped on the plane, everybody know Michael Vick. Like, she's the fastest woman of all time. Like. Yeah, like she just broke the world record. Like amazing. Nobody know who she is. Like she should be courtside at every basketball game. Yo, she should have $1 million. Like the world record is not $50,000. Like that's ridiculous. I feel like they underpay for that type of stuff, and the promotion of us is just not big enough. Like we're not put on like a bigger scene. And that kind of goes to the athlete too, because I feel like the athletes are kind of scared to promote themselves because when they lose, you don't want to lose in front of people. But I think you got to treat it like boxing. If you build the hype up, make the rivalries better, people will want to watch. But like, they don't know what you're watching, like how you're tuning in to watch something. Like if it's a track meet going on Friday, nobody knows what's going on because nobody promotes it. And then if they do want to watch it, they got to pay $79.99 from NBC to even watch the meet, bro. Like, so they're charging us. I don't have to pay $70 to watch LeBron James play or watch Steph Curry play or watch any other NFL player play that I want to see play. I could probably stream it on some other stuff or just pull it up for free if I got cable, but track and field is not the same. Like I got to have NBC Gold. I got to have this. I got to pay for Flow Track. I got to pay for Runner Space. I got to pay for USATF.com. Like it's so much other stuff that I got to do just to get to the track or just to watch the sport. Like I meet so many girls that I've never seen a track meet in their life.
Like, so my question is, especially with your generation on social media, and you look at it, it's happening in hip hop where folks said, you know, forget the labels, I'm going to promote myself. And it's a lot of folks have made a lot of money that way. And so, you know, you have a big social media following, you're active on social media. I see you doing a lot of things, doing gift giveaways, frequently engaging with your audience, you know. That may be the path of the future where if they're not going to promote the sport in a way that allows it to grow and allows you guys to be treated like the successful athletes that you are, then maybe, you know, you guys take that. And that's what I mean about power in the hands of the athletes. Maybe you guys take control of that. I know that they have a lot. I know that Nick Simmons who tried a little something once, and then they shut that down with his uniform. So I understand that they will come at you.
You can't do that. You can't do that only because it's the fact that the people have the companies have the power. So like,
man, that's
you try to put that Domino's sponsor on your uniform, like you don't work for Domino's, you work for Nike. So like this is like your main pay. So we're paying you to do this. We're not paying you to wear Domino's, bro. Go get you a Domino's jersey and we'll stop paying you.
So see, that's my thing, JB. You said it wasn't political, it was kind of a cultural thing, but who's controlling the culture? I mean, if you're not even allowed to express yourself in certain ways because the company says no, because they control the sport, then there's not going to be any kind of change in the culture because they're not allowing it.
I think once we have that breakthrough though, when companies want to start coming in and pouring money into the athletes, that's when it's going to open up. Like I feel like then you ain't gonna have no choice. Like it's not, who are you to say when they say, okay, we'll pay you and pay Nike to let you wear this type of thing. Because these are like rich companies. These are not like regular, like, you know, everyday corner store type joints. Like these are gonna be like big places that want to put money in. Like the NFL, NBA make money because they have those big companies like Chase and all the rest of that stuff backing them up. So they can come in and even push behind USATF or push behind IAAF and just get the money flowing, but have the promotion too going. Like it's no reason why I shouldn't see Coleman more than anything. Like I've never seen him in the commercial yet. Like I gotta see him somewhere. Like he's the world fastest man. I can't see him. I haven't seen Noah. Like if I didn't know Noah,
it's crazy.
I would never know who he is, bro. Like it don't exist like at all. Like you might catch it on accident on YouTube or SportsCenter might put something up every once in a while, but the promotion is just so dead. I think we need to run it how boxing do it. If they do it like boxing, I think it'd be way better. Like boxing has outside promotions. The athletes have their own promotion companies, and then people come in and pour the money in. But they're actually promoting to have the fans looking forward to something to watch instead of just, oh, we got a track meet on today, boom, throw it up. The fans don't know who's running. We don't have like a guide or nothing. Like, yo, like my mama don't know when I'm running. Like she don't. I gotta tell her if I post something, she's still confused. The timing is wrong. We have like we're all overseas. It's none in America, so they're probably running at 6 a.m. Who's waking up at 6 a.m. unless you really? I would never wake up at 6 a.m. to watch Kevin Durant or anybody else. Like it just don't make sense. I feel like it's just bad timing and the promotion is just dead. If they fix that, then I think the sport could definitely jump. But until then, it's gonna really be dry. That's why the money's low.
It's not gonna change until we get some.
I'm gonna say it's a double-edged sword too, though, because we can sit and I'm not gonna say complain, but criticize about the shoe companies. But who else is putting money in? You see what I'm saying, right? So like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, New Balance, they are starting to put money into track and field, or they've been putting money into track and field, so they control the culture. There's no other outside revenue in track and field because, and again, this goes back to what I'm saying. The culture is not strong enough to have outside people support the sport. So the companies who do put money in, and you know, we should be thankful, they control the sport and they have a monopoly on the sport. You see what I'm saying? So when I look at the year that those NBA teams put those logos on their jerseys. You know, I'm a finance major, so I looked it up. 7 to 10 mil per team. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking to myself, 7 to 10 mil for that little joint right there. And there was some companies that I had never heard of, but of course I went and looked them up because I'm like, damn, they dropped 7 mil. You know what I mean? Just to be on that little piece on the logo. So, but again, of course you're gonna pay 7 to 10 mil for a sport that you know is gonna always be televised, that you know all the stars are gonna be known wherever they go. There's no reason, like you said, the little Muhammad. We can argue about LeBron James and Michael Jordan all day. Little Muhammad is the best 400 women's hurdler of all time, period. Easily. And she got on a flight and nobody knew her name.
But if she decides to go ahead and, represent whatever company, because of her, and they decide they're going to market her and use her image for their brand and pay her all the money in the world, she should not be prohibited from competing on the national team because they're controlled by one company, like in the Nick Simmons case. So I have no issue with if the companies are putting money into it, that's fine. If no one else is, cool. But don't stop other people, individuals within the sport from finding their own way, their own sponsorship or money, or you create all these boundaries.
I feel like the agents don't do enough for the athletes either. Like I said, we're paying them 50%.
You're right.
I want to be on a commercial, like them.
Well, all they do is just get you into races because they know the meet director. It's really try.
like, yo, look, if I'm gonna give you 15%, at least put me on something or get me some type of outer. I know trash football players that have outside sponsors. They're getting at least some boxers or something. Like, I have more followers than them. Like, that don't make sense. I know. I have a bigger following than people that play in the NFL, but they have more sponsorships and more stuff like that. So you can't tell me it's like
that doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So now
that's
going down to the agent things too, because the agents have to actually want to put in the work and do something. Because we're giving you 15% of our money, but we're not really seeing anything else in it at all. Like, I'm not seeing any extra promotion or getting free water. Most of the stuff that I got for myself, like it came from me. Like, the companies hit me up, and then I say, okay, cool, I'm gonna do this. But then they probably still want to cut it at too. Your agents still want to cut it at too if you're getting something.
Yeah, but really all you're paying for is access to the meet directors so that you could get a lane in a certain meet, right?
Exactly. So I mean,
if you don't have a certain agent, you don't get a lane.
If we didn't have that, then I feel like the sport would be great. But like, then we can get the representatives. I go get NFL agent. Like, yo,
there needs to be a track and field union.
Man, no, listen, but like the sport is it's so aged. Like, I feel like we have so many like older people in the sport that they frown upon the new wave. Like, when you have tattoos and you wear braids or whatever and you just act a certain way, they feel like, all right, you don't need to be the sport. Like, for instance, you remember when Houston and LSU had the little rivalry in the football one of Texas relays? Flow Track was like pumping it, and then like the older track people, they're legends, but they're on Twitter like, no, we don't need this in the sport. Like, even the announcers are saying we don't need this. We don't need this. Like, yo, people want to see that.
Exactly.
Shaking hands and having
that the clip went viral even outside of track and field, and that's what I'm trying to say. I just feel as though as a sport we have been handcuffed, right? Because it's so statistical, and no one wants to get out of that comfort zone because it's all about times, right? There's no subjectivity in track and field, right? Sure. There's no arguing like, oh, Kobe and LeBron. You just going to go to the times, right? And with that, we have kind of like handcuffed ourselves to just this old traditional legacy of country club track and field. Exactly. You know what I mean? And the gatekeeping of our sport, like you said, no offense, I'm gonna be old soon. I'm not young anymore, but
they applauding it though. Huh? They applauding that type of stuff though. So I feel like it's not. They want you to be the clean cut like person. You gotta look like everybody that was like superstars look the same way. It's no different stars in the sport. Everybody look exactly the same, and we don't have to go into that to know exactly. Like the men look the same, the women look the same. It's never like going to be like a person that's just an outlier. Like, if they are, say, it would have been amazing to have a Xavier Carter be Usain Bolt. Like, for us, yo, that would have been like the best thing ever. If I could have seen someone like a Xavier Carter be Usain Bolt. To me, Xavier Carter is one of my favorite favorite athletes of all time. Man. It's not because of medals that he won and stuff like that. Like, he had the swag and he had the speed with it. Like, it's not just like he's just like, okay, he go out there, he ran 19, he walks off the track. You know, he go out there, throw up the X. I'm hearing stories of him buying Range Rovers, crashing, and he got jewelry on, everything.
Yeah, he was wild.
Like, yeah, like, yo, that's something that people would want to see though. Like, you don't want to just see the regular old people over and over and over again, bro.
Yeah, people want to see some personality. That's why people like Bolt. You know, he was, I'm the best, cocky. You know, the energy.
Like Bolt was like dancing and stuff too. Like Bolt,
yeah.
Bolt legendary because he ran the world record.
I mean, yeah, but he still had the personality that that goes a long way. And track does need a little bit of that energy, and I mean, I think it is changing. It is changing a little bit. The old guard can't be there forever, but yeah, they sure don't like things changing.
No. And then they got to stop trying to blow up just one athlete and make the whole sport.
No,
they keep looking for the next Bolt over and over and over again. Why can't you just blow up multiple athletes and make it like so we can look forward to it, bro? Like, what? They want to find the next Bolt everywhere they look, bro. It's no more Bolts. That's it. Like,
no more.
Find the next Michael Norman, Michael Cherry, Coleman, or whatever. Like, just find the next that person.
And the thing about Bolt, they keep still saying stuff like the next Bolt. Like, man, if there was a next Bolt, you would see him at 14 already. Like, sure. I raced Bolt at the Pan Am Juniors and Carifta Games. By 16, Bolt 17, Bolt was already, you already knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So it's not like someone just gonna pop up like that,
That's crazy. They got to fix that. They fix that, I feel like we'll be straight though. But promotion definitely is a big thing. I don't know how we're gonna advance promotion. We got the wizard though. we got the wizard, man. Wizard. We should be all right. I feel like it's gonna get better for sure. I think maybe like in 5 to 6 years the sport will be in better condition.
Okay.
No, I agree with you. And like we said, one of the things that we talked about was rivalries. I'm a circle back to something that I do want to address real quick. So one of the things we talked about was rivalries. Real quick, talk to me about these state rivalries, right? So now that you're on the pro scene, right, it's not as prevalent, but we had LaShawn on, right? We're looking at Grant Holloway, you're looking at Noah Lyles, you're looking at Joe Stevens. So what in the world is happening in Virginia that all of these professional athletes, Shaquille Saunders, that just Francina McCory, right? All of these professional athletes are coming out of this state, and especially in that 757 area. Like, what is going on in that area? What is happening in that state? And give you opportunity to just plug. I mean, we know you was born in New York, but you was raised in VA.
By way of Brooklyn, yeah. by way of Brooklyn.
You can throw your little BK in there, but
so no, South Norfolk. I feel like we just hustlers. Like, our whole area is just like grinders. Like, everybody kind of like the same. Like, it don't matter like you from Portsmouth, Norfolk. Most of the people kind of Portsmouth, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, different areas, but I feel like we all come from the same kind of background, and we all just grow up like hustlers and just wanted to just grind and just had to get out the mud early. So now it's just we perform on the best stages. For sure.
And how did that carry you through? I mean, how do you take that mindset? You coming from South Norfolk to Belarus, right? Like, you coming from South Norfolk to Italy to London. How do you have that grind mindset, but still are able to perform on such a professional stage?
Because I feel like I already been through the worst. Like, I just talked to Coach Benny, it was like, yo, you've been through the worst, so now it can't get no worse than now. Like, even now we're on a better stage. So from that point, I think about all the times that I had to grind and just really, really get it in, and just think about my neighborhood or people back at home that I'm really doing it for, and I just have the motivation to get through. And I know the person lined up beside me probably hasn't been through the same things I've been through. So at the same time, I'm mentally in a better stage than that person already, and I'm ready to go to war for sure.
Yeah, I try not to talk too much trash about certain areas. We lived in Portsmouth.
Yeah, Coach B lived in the hood, right?
Norfolk. It's hood, man.
I knew Coach B lived in the hood, right? Because the kids that was on Coach B team that lived in his area was like cool from my area too. That's when I was like,
we definitely lived in the hood. It was hood. It was hood. I can't even lie.
This was like early on.
College Square.
College Square, Brookwood Court.
That was the one in Suffolk.
Yeah.
No stuff.
Yeah. That's the one. That's when I had like Q and all them on the team because Q was cool.
Yeah, we were living in the.
He was like, yeah, that's the hood. I'm like, dang, bro.
It was the hood. It was no mistaking that. There was no mistaking.
I thought Coach B was rich.
Coach B had a house. He was rich. I lived. All I seen was apartments. I ain't never seen a house before, so I thought Coach B had a nice little spot. He had his own car and stuff. I'm like, yo,
I was spending too much money on you guys.
He's doing great.
I could have had a house.
I thought you was doing great for yourself. Like, like you asked me, you was up. I feel like you had 2 cars.
Nah,
like,
he was spending all his money on y'all.
Then got another car. Yo,
I
you
did have
good.
Hood rich. That was
hood rich. Okay.
That ain't wealthy. That's hood rich.
Yo, you was well off compared to me. I thought you was great. Like,
well, yeah. Well, look at our adjustment now. We from Brookwood to Cornell University.
Yeah, man, look.
I know. I feel like people who aren't listening, like if you've never been in the hood, lived in the hood, I mean, getting from the hood to being a world record holder and winning medals and being a professional at what you do.
Like a washing machine, dryer, none of that
stuff.
I got the cop. I'm like, oh my god, like I got cable. I ain't have cable or Wi-Fi. You asked Coach B. This is in high school, so this is like 9 years ago. I had no cable. I'm thinking, ask Coach B. Ask Coach B about my home visit.
I remember we had a visit. We had a visit. Cherry had a college coach come to the house and was trying to show us some stuff. He's like, well, what's the Wi-Fi? And there's no Wi-Fi. Like
no Wi-Fi, no cable. Like literally, he said, I'm trying to figure out if you're qualified for Pell Grant. He looked up. He was like, "Yeah, you're qualified."
Yeah, like you're gonna get a full Pell Grant, sir, based off of where I see you living. You're getting a Pell Grant.
Around.
Coach Benny came for my home visit. And you were talking about the football game. I had to use the antenna. I'm trying to use the antenna.
Oh, you didn't have an antenna on the top of your TV.
I swear to God, I had an antenna.
Come on.
I had an antenna. This is like 2013. I had it. I'm moving the antenna, trying to get the channel to work. It was a Bengals and Falcons game. I remember. He like, you know what? Let's just talk about life. We don't gotta watch the game. I'm like, yeah, all right. I cut the TV out. Now to chill with him.
But how many countries have you been to now?
Shoot, I've been to I don't even know. I've been to a lot of countries. Dog. I've been to every continent except Australia. Yeah, maybe Australia. I've been to every other continent. Though. I went to Africa, South America, North America.
Well, let me tell you this.
That's big.
Just like you said about LaShawn, there are folks in Virginia, little kids in high school who are watching you, who follow you on Instagram, and who's seeing what you're doing, and you are motivating them to try harder at whatever it is that they want to do because they see the level that you reach, and they want to be there as well. So the same impact that LaShawn had on you, you are having definitely on folks where you're from. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I always try to reach out to kids. Even now, anytime some kids from the area DM me or they message me, I never try to big time because I remember I was that person too at one point. DMing LaShawn, asking him for stuff. He might not hit me back. He might will. Like, you never know. And I hit up other athletes too, just asking questions. So whenever like younger athletes message me now, I always tend to try to talk to them and just do stuff for them so they can know like, okay, I got access to a pro. I can ask them certain questions and they'll know like, okay, what it's like to be a professional and like basically like my steps and my process took for me to get here.
Yeah, you got to make sure to drop your info, right? And that's one thing that I've been proud of you about. I mean, the times, the medals, the world records, but I personally, right, just watching your growth as a young man, as a young Black man, and just watching how you communicate with the young kids and pour back in and pay it forward, man. For me, I'm gonna be real with you. That is bigger than the times. That's bigger than all your accomplishments on the track. I honestly, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well said. Well, we definitely have to get you back on here, man. I want to hear definitely post Olympics. We're going to obviously, I follow you, so I'm going to be keeping track of what's going on, man, because obviously we want to see you keep doing big things, and we always wish the best for you. So appreciate you coming on. talking to us for a little
You
bit.
got to let him sign his new contract, and then we can get deeper into them contract talks, right?
Yeah. I wasn't trying to. My bad.
We gotta let him. We gotta let him get a couple years on it. Then he could.
I'm not slandering no company.
Yeah, job security is an interesting thing, huh? I'm on here like, hey, whatever.
Y'all better make way for me once they cut me.
Ain't no Nike people watching this. You know what? I shouldn't even say that.
We get you a volunteer job at Cornell, man.
Man.
That's how they gotta start off, right? You always gotta start off as a volunteer.
Hey, you know what? I was a volunteer. How many years ago was that? 9 years ago?
We was a volunteer.
I was a volunteer at FAMU.
Oh dang, for real? I didn't know that.
Yeah, before I got to Cornell, and I was, I was on some sleeping on floors, SNAP benefits, food stamps, while driving the van type,
For real?
Oh yeah, come on, man. You think track athletes don't make money? You think track coaches, volunteers, and assistants making money?
They just hand us the bag.
Now look at you, rich.
You didn't hear JB living in the hood while paying for y'all stuff?
Yeah, dog.
And listen, we was in the hood too. It wasn't. It was like
I remember I came over there. I had to stay with Coach B for a little bit.
Oh yeah, he got suspended from school.
I had to stay
with him.
Oh man.
Yeah, he got suspended.
I just stayed with him in high school for about a good 2 weeks. He gave me allowance and everything. I didn't even want to leave. Hey, bro, asked me what I want to eat. All you can eat cereal. Bro, just bought me cereal. It's good. I was like, damn, I don't get this at my house. I'm cool staying over here. I didn't want to go back, man. I was like, damn.
Wait. You said you didn't want to go home?
I didn't want to go. My mama put me out, dog, because he had Miss Cree. He was giving me money to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, man, this is like, I could never get no money in my mom. Yeah, he took me to Walmart and said, what you want to eat? I said, shoot, I just be eating cereal. I'm not even tripping. Like, we got cereal. We was good. Yeah. I got to train every day. It was nice.
He was training twice a day and all of that. Then Cherry was asking me, can he go to parties? And I'm like, bro, you in trouble.
Going down on me. He talking about something. Nah, man, you can't be going out. I'm like,
I'm gonna tell you how he tried to get me though. He was like, hey, can I go out, hang out with my friends? I was like, man, you're in trouble. Like, you ain't never been punished before. He's like, nah. So I was like, he's like, well, can my friends come over here? I'm like, what do you think is going on here? Like,
in trouble.
I used to be on punishment, but I thought I was outside my crib.
No, you were still on punishment.
On punishment, nothing you want.
He was like the cool brother. Like, you let me go outside and stuff. Like, yo.
Ah, man, that's
we trained for a week and a half and ate cereal. That was it.
They thought
I was
gonna be punishment. I loved it. I was like, yo, that's the best suspension ever. I'm getting better. Like,
we were doing 2 days. We were doing 2 days. He said that's not even punishment. But let me end on this. I will say this because this is a statement I make about Cherry all the time, man. I've coached tons of kids, and I always say there's 3 types of athletes. There's kids who say that they want to get better. There's kids who want to get better, and there's kids who need to get better. Cherry is one of those athletes who needs to get better, right? So he's the type of kid or the type of athlete that no matter what, he's trying to figure out a way to get better. So you heard him talk about buying his own weights, right? Like that's an investment. You heard him talk about making it happen in the grass, right? So hear him out. I thought I was punishing him by making him have 2-a-day practices. This is our first time having this conversation ever. He was excited because in his mind, he like, man, I'm getting better, right? So I just think that's a big nugget, man, as athletes move forward. Like, and again, that's my little quote. There's athletes who say they want to get better. Coach, I want to get better. And I'm like, okay. Then there's athletes who really want to get better. Like they're doing all the things you ask. That's good too. But then there's athletes who need to get better. Like after every session, Cherry wants feedback. After every race, Cherry will call me right now after a race. He'll call me after a practice. Like, bro, I'm not watching your grass run. Like I can't, but after every opportunity he has, he needs to get better. And I'm saying that's when I knew he was going to make it. It wasn't the times, it was the mindset. That hunger, that desire, that need to continue, that shark mentality, right? Like, sharks can't start moving. Cherry had that shark mentality of, I have to move forward. I have to move forward. And I mean, that's why he's got a couple world record. He's got a world record and some medals right now, man. That's innate. And then that's not something you can coach.
There it is. All right, Cherry, drop your social media handles, man. Where can we find you?
Follow me on Instagram at AY_attractive and Twitter is MCJR_.
Yeah, you have a blue check on Instagram, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm salty about that.
You're a coach, you don't need one.
Man, I don't care.
What did you be verified for? You're coaching, you good.
Hey, man.
You're gonna get a blue check after this interview. You're gonna get a blue check after
I know,
this.
man.
I always want a blue check just so I can DM girls. That's all I want. I didn't want it for no other reason. I was like, I got a blue check now. Oh, my ratio going up now, y'all. They can't ignore me. They can't ignore me no more. It's over.
I think that's a good place to end, Adrian. What you think?
All right, man. Thanks for coming on. We're gonna have you back here again, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good seeing you guys, man. Y'all stay safe.
Appreciate it, JB, for coming on again.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, we gotta do this again.